And we are live. What is going on, LBHT crew, Ravens Nation? That was a tough one last night. The only good thing I can say about it was Thanksgiving, and I hope y'all had a great Thanksgiving. Okay, outside of that game, don't let that debacle ruin your night. Hopefully, and today's Black Friday. If you're off of work, congratulations. Okay, don't waste too much time dwelling on this game. We'll talk about it, and then we got to move on. We got some people in the chat already. Yes. Look, the shocking truth about the Ravens after the Bengals lost. That's the name of this title right here. This stream. Just Aloes in the house says, I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. When Lamar gets to play for an organization that actually cares. Yes, he's going to win multiple Super Bowls. Absolutely. Our guy, Eric L. Salute. What's going on, Eric? Says, greetings, everyone. Have a most excellent show. Thank you very much. I think I'm going solo today. Hendo is running around my city, terrorizing it. Okay. He's doing his shopping. B, I think, is probably still sleeping. He may or may not show up. That's, sometimes I have these pop-up moments. I'm like, hey, I want to go live. I don't expect anybody to show up. If they show up, they show up. It is what it is. Shy Town in the house. What's going on? Salute to you. Appreciate you coming through. Andrew in the house. Salute. Thanks for coming through. Alfonso, what's going on? Alfonso says, what's up, Jose? We got to talk about Lamar. We're going to talk about Lamar. And I think, you know what? Let me get these shots real quick. I'm going to come right back to you, Alfonso. Appreciate that comment. Dave Vaughn says, good to see you in Black Friday. On Black Friday, my guy. Yes, and I'm rocking the black. You like this shirt? You like this? This is a prototype. This isn't on the store yet. This isn't on the store. But go to LBHTShow.com, and there's all kinds of merch on there that you can purchase. And thank you guys that have been buying. You guys like that that hoodie, that LBHT. I think it's called a smoke hoodie or whatever. A few of you have bought that. We appreciate that. Dapper Dons, what's going on? Appreciate you coming through. Haunted S'mores. Darren, what's going on? Says I needed LBHT last night. I couldn't do it last night. I didn't have my setup. I was actually at B's house, and he's like, "Do you want to go live?" And I was like, "Nah, we'll wait until tomorrow. I want to be back in my house in my studio." So here we are. I'm glad y'all came through here, though. Thank you. Who's over there on Facebook? Job Bigby over on Facebook giving us the like. Thank you. Thank y'all. Sharikin, what's going on? Says, I don't think we're going anywhere with this GM and this head coach. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. You're absolutely right. Let me get some more shout outs here. I be saying, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Melanated One, salute to you. Says, y'all be careful listening to these racists coming out of Lamar. Coming out on Lamar, they quiet on Josh Allen. We know what it is. Caleb, what's going on? Says, my night was great. Yes, Caleb is a Dallas fan. I picked Dallas. Look at the overtime show. I picked Dallas. I picked them to win. Matt's in the house. Says, yo, Jose in chat. What's going on, Matt? Thanks for coming through. Let's see. And I think I got everyone. Omar Tillman, what's going on? Says, what's up, Jose? Tough loss. I took Ravens money line. Hey, sorry, man. I don't gamble, and these are the type of games that make me happy that I don't gamble. But let's go back to what Alfonso said. He said we got to talk about Lamar. Here's the thing. Lamar did not play well. I don't think he's played well for like the last 3 games, right? Not poorly. I don't think all these games he's played poorly. Just not to the standard that we're used to seeing Lamar Jackson. And it's natural and it's okay to notice that and say, man, he looks off. Of course, because we've set a high standard for him. He set a high standard for himself. So some of the criticism is absolutely warranted. He had some bad throws last night. However, the difference between Lamar and Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen, Stafford, and all these other top quarterbacks is they all go through these slumps. Every one of them. Joe Burrow last night did not play much better. It only looks that way because he has Jamar Chase on that team, right? He has who was that tight end that made a one-handed catch in the end zone. He has guys that make those catches for him, and we have tight ends that drop the ball before they cross the goal line. Right? We have guys that fumble the ball when we need to pick up a first down. The game's on the line. We have to get a touchdown, and we have wide receivers that want to dance around and fumble the ball. And we got a wide receiver. I mean, look, Zay Flowers, that pass interference, the offensive pass interference, I don't put that all on him. I don't think that's but I don't put it on him. I think that was a bad call, but it still happened, and that's points off the board. Those other teams, those other quarterbacks don't have the weapons to shoot them in the foot the way Lamar does. Right? I'm sorry. I didn't want to call them weapons. The players. He doesn't have weapons. Those other guys have weapons. So that's the difference. I mean, I watched all three of those games yesterday. All of those quarterbacks made bad throws. The difference is those quarterbacks had wide receivers that can make something happen. George Pickens, you already know what George Pickens can do for Dallas. CeeDee Lamb, right? You look at the Detroit game, Amon-Ra St. Brown went out the game, but you still got Jahmyr Gibbs. You still got Isaac Tesla, right? You have Jameson Williams. They have a ton of weapons, even on the other side, right? Josh Jacobs. You have they have a few receivers over there. I forget their names, but those guys are surrounded with talent. The Ravens are not. They're just not. We have guys that we keep hyping up to be the guy. Zay Flowers, I still feel like Zay Flowers can get there. Christian Watson. Yes, thank you, Shug. And they got, I think Jalen Reed came back too. I think he came back for that game. Bring back fun backyard football. Yes, Davon. Yes. MDT Sports, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. But these guys aren't it. And the whole team, the defense didn't play well either. And that's the truth. That's in the title. That's what we call this stream. The shocking truth about the Ravens after the Bengals lost. The truth is they're not a good team. And they really haven't been a good team for a while. This team has been poorly constructed. And what we've been seeing is Lamar Jackson has been covering up a lot of the faults this team has, the deficiencies that this team has. And because he's not 100% right now, he can't cover those things up anymore. And this is a time where he needs other players to step up and do those things, to help them keep winning. Now, I'll say the defense has done a good job over these last few weeks, beating up on these bad teams and keeping them in games and helping us win these games. And yeah, they're bad teams, and that's okay. Like, you're doing your job. But last night wasn't a good team, but they're a good offense, and they got their quarterback back. So they're a dangerous offense. And we see what our defense is really about. Nothing. Our defense ain't about nothing. We're not a good defense, right? We're not the bottom of the barrel, but we're not a good defense. My hope was over this stretch of bad teams that they start to build up some confidence and they're able to attack the ball more and just figure some things out on that side, play more disciplined football. But Joe Burrow got sacked one time on a Marlon Humphrey blitz, and that was it. There's no other pressure. He had all the time in the pocket. He looked very, very relaxed by the end of the game. Very relaxed, very, very comfortable. And that's just that's disheartening. That's disheartening. Joe Burrow has missed, I don't know how many weeks. He's missed a lot of time. And he decided, you know what? The perfect time for me to come back is at Baltimore on Thursday night, because I know that defense can't do anything to me. That's a lot. That's a lot. Let's take a look at some stats here. And when I said Joe Burrow didn't play much better than Lamar Jackson, this is what I'm talking about. Joe Burrow, 24 for 46, 261 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 1 sack at 83.7 QB rating. Lamar Jackson, 17 of 32, 246 yards, no touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 fumbles, and he was sacked 3 times, 65.4 rating. So Joe Burrow threw the ball 14 more times, completed 7 more. The difference is the touchdown and interceptions, right? The fumbles, the first fumble I don't put on Lamar. I mean, he got hit from he didn't see the guy coming. You can say he should have secured it a little bit more. I guess the guy ran right through, right past Rosengarten, blew him up, sack, fumble. The second one, yes, hold on to the ball. Looks like he was trying to pump fake, or he thought about throwing the ball. He tried to bring it back in. It fell out of his hands. You got to hold on to it. So that I put on him. Interception. I mean, yes, it was tipped. People were saying, yeah, you got to be able to throw around that. Isaiah Likely was supposed to block the guy. The guy ran him right back into Lamar's face. I don't think anybody in that situation is going to be ready for that. He wasn't supposed to be that close. I mean, he was basically right up on his chest. So he's trying to throw around that. The ball gets tipped and it's intercepted, but that's on the quarterback ultimately. Fine. He had a touchdown to Isaiah Likely. Likely fumbles the ball before crossing the goal line. Touchback. He has a touchdown to Zay Flowers. They call offensive pass interference. No points there. So he's actually throwing some touchdown passes. He's moving the ball down the field. We're not finishing. All right. And it's hard to finish when you have an O-line that's just letting guys run through and blow them up. Also, you have a coaching staff that can't adjust and can't do what's working, aka give the ball to Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry finished averaging 6 yards a carry, but he only carried the ball 10 times. Let's take a look at it. 10 carries, 60 yards. Yep. 1 touchdown. That's it. 1 catch for 44 yards. And we said, that's all we need from you. That's coaching. That's coaching. Chase Brown had more carries. 15 carries, 78 yards. 7 catches, 35 yards. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? All right, let's read some comments here. Josh, what's going on? Appreciate you coming through. Says morning all. Good morning to you, Josh. What's going on, Suge? Thanks for coming through. Suge says, I thought Flowers and Bateman were number 1 wide receivers, Jose. Wink, wink. You didn't hear that over here. We think Zay Flowers can be that guy. But honestly, he's talented. He's talented. He's not an elite wide receiver. He's not one of those top wide receivers, but he's talented. I like that he's on the team, and I like that he tries to make plays. I'm not really disappointed with this play. Like he's trying to be that guy. He's just not. And that's okay. You re-sign him and you add more talent to the team. You add another wide receiver. That's how you can make him more dangerous. NDT Sports says, as a Ravens fan, let's not look at media because they're bashing Lamar right now. He should switch positions. Yeah, it's a Lamar Jackson market. Talking about those other guys doesn't get them the clicks. That's just what it is, right? So they're always going to say something. Even if Lamar was playing great over the stretch, they'll find something negative to say because that's going to generate emotions from you guys. It's going to get you to click on the stories and the videos and all that stuff. That's just what it is. This is what it is. Don't even get mad at it. You're absolutely right. Don't even look at that stuff. Jeremy, what's going on? Another Dallas Cowboys fan. Good night for y'all. It says Isaiah Likely can't fumble in the end zone, just like Zay did against the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Correct. Absolutely right. Yep. Yes. Thank you, Adrian. Christian Watson, Romeo Dubs. That's right. And Jalen Reed, I think, is another one. I think he came back yesterday, or he was supposed to come back yesterday. How hard is it to give the ball to Derrick Henry and Keaton 30 times a game? Well, honestly, this O-line is difficult. It's going to make you nervous about how well they can hold up. Although one positive was Emory Jones did enter the game at left guard. From what I could see, he didn't look bad. I don't think he played that many snaps, but the snaps I saw him get in there, it wasn't obvious that he was getting blown up. Coach Evans will break this down a little bit more, or a lot more. So make sure you subscribe to Sip to Tally Films. And here we go. Lamar is washed, Jose. Imagine when he can't run, man. Yeah, I mean, that's what people are going to say. Lamar does not need to run the ball, right? Lamar not running isn't exposing Lamar. Lamar not running is exposing the rest of this team. You see wide receivers that can't get separation. You see an O-line that can't hold up. You see a running back that doesn't look like Superman, not because he's not good, but because he's getting hit in the backfield every other handoff, right? These guys don't look so great when the O-line can't do the job, and the O-line doesn't look great when Lamar is not making the defense second guess what's going on out there. So this is him exposing everybody else. Let's see. Whitney, what's going on? Says, hope we beat the Steelers and hope Chiefs beat Texans. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. As bad as things look, the division is still right there for us. I don't even know if the Steelers will beat the Bills this week. Honestly, I don't think so. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is playing, but they might have a better chance of winning without Aaron Rodgers at this point. That's just how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. The Bills don't look great either. But if the Steelers lose this game, that's that puts us right back in first place, as bad as we look at 6-6. Yuck. If the Steelers win this game, it doesn't matter. We play them next week. All we gotta do is beat them. That's all we gotta do. Beat them, and we pretty much win the division, and we get another shot at the Bengals. So this game didn't kill us. It's very disappointing. It's very discouraging, but it didn't kill us. Robert, what's going on? Says the Ravens are done, and until the GM put an offense around Lamar Jackson and get rid of John Harbaugh, we're not going anywhere, let alone Super Bowl. Well, the way this season's going for the whole AFC, it's just not a strong conference. So I put it like this. That's why I say week to week. This week was bad, very bad. I agree. This offense isn't good. Our coach isn't good. Our GM isn't good. I think most of us, most rational people can agree with that. They're just not good. But you just week to week, look at the schedule. We can win a lot of these games. It's possible we win a division. And when we get to the division, I mean, just look at the teams that are in the AFC. The Patriots, are the Patriots a gauntlet? Are they a team that we can't beat? Not saying we expect to beat, but are they a team that we can't beat? Nope. Are the Broncos a team that we can't beat? No. The Chiefs don't even know they'll be in the playoffs. Don't even know. Are the Chargers a team that we can't beat? No. Right? Just go down the line. Bills, Steelers, Jaguars, Colts. And the Colts probably look the strongest. But do they look unbeatable? No. None of these teams look unbeatable. So, not saying that we would be favored going into any of these games. But we could beat any of these teams as bad as we are. So, we have to take it week to week. Let's see. Lonely Therapy says, just prove to me that Lamar always has to play Superman regardless of the situation. We need a bona fide wide receiver. Everybody in Baltimore already knows this. Facts. That's what it is. We need to beat our rivals. Absolutely. All right, we got 63 people in here. Appreciate y'all coming through here on a Black Friday. I hope y'all don't have to work. And if you do have to work, I hope this gives you a little break at work. All right. But hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit the subscribe button. All right. Also, LBHTShow.com. go check out our website. If you're doing a little shopping today, we got some merch on there. This isn't on there. This isn't on there. This is a prototype, but we got some other stuff on there that we know you guys will like. So check it out. Also sign up for our newsletter. I put out a newsletter earlier this week. I'm going to put another one out here pretty soon. Okay. And that'll keep you updated on all the dope Ravens content creators and Panthers. In case you don't know, we cover Panthers on this channel as well. So, check it out. And we put some other sports news on there as well. Can't beat? No. We have no reason to expect we would, though, for real. That's what Josh was responding to my question earlier. No, absolutely. No. I'm not saying that we even expect to win, but I'm just saying, like, we can't say that our season is done. That's my point. That's my whole point. I can't say our season is done, because those teams are beatable. Would I go into those games, especially having to go on the road, and say, oh, we're going to win? No. But none of those teams, you'd be shocked if we beat them. You know what I'm saying? We won last week and Lamar didn't play superhero. Yeah, that was a bad team, though. That was a bad team. Boom and Surge says Lamar don't have to play Superman. There was 0 blitz last night, and Andrews was wide open, and Lamar went to the middle for incompletion. Just do his job. He didn't play great. No, he didn't play great. However, that's one play, right? And I bet you can probably point to about 3 or 4 plays where you're just like, Lamar, you got to do better than that. He did not have great passes. But guess what? Neither did Joe Burrow. And nobody's going to point it out because his players made plays to make up for it. The touchdown pass that he threw to that tight end wasn't a great pass, right? Some of those 3rd and long conversions to first down weren't great passes. They were just great catches. Our guys don't make up for those errors, right? They don't make up for when the QB isn't 100% accurate. So it amplifies it more for Lamar Jackson because he has to be perfect with everything. Our receivers, they adjust to nothing. So if you're just if you're just going to be a guy, then okay, fine. You're just a guy. Don't hype up these guys like they're something great. When we say Andrews isn't anything special, that's what we mean. When we say, hey, likely is just a guy, he's not really anything without Lamar, that's what we mean. Right? When we say, hey, Bateman, he ain't it, that's what we mean. All right. They can be solid players and they can look good when Lamar is on point, but they're not game changers. We need game changers here. Every single QB goes through a slump. They go through a slump. They have those games where they're just off. And the question is, do you have enough talent around you to make up for it, to help them work their way through it? Here, no. Game too easy. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. Said Joe threw 46 times. That ain't nothing special. Nope. That's my point. Super Bowl, what? It's possible. Like, I mean, some people call me and be negative on here, but we're just realistic. And this is also part of it too. I'm not saying we're favorite. I'm not saying, hey, stamp us for the Super Bowl. I'm saying, yes, it is possible. As bad as we've been playing, it is possible. Here's how it's possible. We see Emory Jones starting to get some rotation in the lineup. He should just flat out beat Andrew Voorhees. Voorhees is probably the worst lineman out there, worse than Daniel Falele. Falele has the more clippable moments, we'll say. Voorhees, I think, is consistently more bad. All right. Emory Jones goes in there and plays solid. That helps out the O-line immensely. Okay. It's possible. I'm not saying it's realistic. It's possible. By the time we get to the playoffs, we hit a stride. Lamar is hitting his stride. Lamar gets a little healthier. He looked a little bit better running last night, right? So it's possible he works through those things. By the time we get to the playoffs, these other teams might be a little bit more beat up, or they come back down to earth a little bit, and we just catch them at the right time. Okay, so little things. I mean, if you look at the last time we won a Super Bowl, this team was not a Super Bowl team. We, like, going into the playoffs, the only team we were favored to beat was the Colts at home. We damn sure weren't expected to beat the Broncos at Mile High Stadium. We damn sure weren't expected to beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. But we went in there and took care of business. We took the Patriots' soul. All right. So it's possible. It's possible, but not likely. What happened to all those people from last year saying, oh, Lamar has all these weapons? Yeah, I mean, those people know Lamar doesn't have weapons. Those people are just, they're in the Lamar hating business. The Lamar hating business gets you clicks, right? And if you're not a content creator, it's just a way to cope. There's a lot of people that hate Lamar because they don't have Lamar Jackson on their team, right? Their quarterback is Geno Smith. No, this is Geno. I like Geno Smith, but you know what I'm saying? Like their quarterbacks are quarterbacks that don't inspire them to watch any football. Okay, so like, yes, they have time to hate, or they have a quarterback that's good, but they feel threatened by Lamar. They know, hey, my quarterback isn't as good as Lamar. Maybe if we had Lamar, we get over the hump. So it's a coping thing for a lot of teams. You don't see too many Chiefs fans talk down about Lamar Jackson because the Chiefs win a lot of games. You don't see too many Philly fans talk down about Lamar Jackson because they win a lot of games. In fact, I know a few Philly fans. Shout out to my boy Shang. All right, Musa. He's a diehard Philly fan, and we talk trash, in fun. But he always says it. Man, I want Lamar Jackson to win a Super Bowl. I met a Philly fan last year, young kid, and he said the same thing. He said, outside of the Eagles win a Super Bowl, I want to see Lamar Jackson win the Super Bowl. It's all love. It's all love. And they can do that because their teams are doing what they're supposed to do with their franchise quarterbacks. They're winning. They're satisfied. So they don't have to feel jealous towards anybody. These other teams do feel it. Everybody else does. So that's where that comes from. Josh says, Bill's thread on Twitter looks just like Ravens from what I've seen. A bunch of people talking about Josh needs help and a smaller number saying he needs to play better. Yeah. And I don't think they're wrong. Josh does need help. He does. Josh Allen stumbled his rookie year, did not play great. He played terrible. Then they got Stephon Diggs, and he played amazing. And it's not all because Stephon Diggs was there. Josh Allen put into work, coaching staff worked with him, and he changed things. Like, he became a great quarterback. And he is a great quarterback. But you go from having a weapon like Stephon Diggs to Khalil Shakir. And Khalil Shakir ain't a bad wide receiver, but that's a downgrade, right? That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. You keep your wide receivers with weapons. Look at Matt Stafford. Matt Stafford, for pretty much his whole entire career, has played with Hall of Famer wide receivers, right? Calvin Johnson in Detroit, one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. He's got Devontae Adams. He's got Puka Nacua. And he had Cooper Kupp, who just went to Seattle. Right? Like, he's always been surrounded with talent. Always. And right now, I would say Matt Stafford is the front runner for MVP right now. He's playing great football. Kwame, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming through. Flex Zone, salute. Killer, what's going on? Thanks for coming through. Yep, I'm riding solo today. It's okay. I decided to have a little pop-up stream. You know, people were upset about last night. I'm irritated about last night. I don't get upset like that anymore. I don't. Because the reality is John Harbaugh should have been fired after Lamar Jackson's rookie season. They were thinking about firing him right before he made that switch to Lamar Jackson. If you're at the point where you're ready to fire your coach mid-season, then follow through with that. I don't care if they made the playoffs. I know there's that curiosity of, oh, let's see what we can do with him next year. No, there's a reason why you wanted to fire him. Fire him. Fire him. And definitely after he wins MVP. Okay, I mean say after he wins MVP, the year after we fall flat. That's when you say, okay, we've seen what you can do with him. We'll take it from here, right? But they stuck with him way too long, and now the team is just checked out. This is far beyond. We've been talking about Lamar Jackson. Who looked good on the team yesterday? Just answer me that. When people try to say, hey, this is on Lamar. Lamar lost us the game. Well, who was winning us the game? Defense had a few good stops in the first half, but this is a 4 quarters game. And the touchdowns they gave up weren't because, oh, well, they were just tired and you know, the offense put us in a bad situation. No, they just gave up too many passes, too many big plays. If you're supposed to be that defense, it doesn't matter how many times you get put on the field, you make the stop. So nobody looked good. Nobody. Zeke, what's going on? Says, I need to get like you, Jose, because I'm pissed. I understand. I get it. You know, but it's we've seen it too many times, right? To be that pissed off about it. And the reality is it may not change anything. I mean, as soon as early as Sunday, we could still be in first place. Right? You don't want to lose on prime time on Thanksgiving when you're home and you think you got a win that you can sit down and enjoy. That's irritable. Suge says, now, Jose. Suge is a Steelers fan. I'm just saying, Suge. And Suge's in the same boat. Everything I'm saying, Suge can say about his team. Right? All they have to do is win. But how confident are you about winning? This is a big game for them. If they win, they're in first place, and then all they have to do is keep winning. If they lose, they're back in second place, and they're out of the playoffs. Right? But regardless, win or lose, both of our teams have to beat the other to win the division. So, you know, and it could happen either way. So I'm just looking at it week to week. You know, they look terrible this week. And when everybody plays bad, you can, if one or two players play bad, you can put it on those players. When the whole team plays bad, that is coaching. That is coaching. How is nobody ready to go on a primetime game? Let's see what we got here. Lamar was bad, but without him, we are nothing. Won't find better QB for decades once he's done, because we don't draft Hall of Famers anymore. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, no, he was bad. No doubt about it. He was bad. And he said something after the game. He said, hey, I'm making these passes in practice. I'm making all the throws in practice. I got to do it in the game more consistently. You know what the difference between practice and in the games are? In practice, our O-line is going up against a D-line that can't get to the quarterback. That's the difference. And when you go into these games, even the worst defense in the league can get to our quarterback. No problem. He's getting way more pressure in real life games than he is in practice. That's the difference. Wide receivers can get separation against our corners in practice. They can't do it against other defenses in real games. That's the difference. How do you fix that? I mean, Lamar can make the adjustment. It's really about other guys stepping up. That's really what it comes down to. Who's going to really step up and do more in those games? Big Reg, what's good? Says Emory Jones look very promising. Yeah. I think that might be our new starting guard. Maybe not this year, but definitely for the future. I hope this year. I really hope this year. And I hope he gets more snaps and more tape to a point where it's undeniable that they have to start him. And I wonder what made them decide to rotate him in. You know, B was saying that, they thought that maybe Voorhees was hurt. That's why they put him in, but he came back in later on in the game, I believe. I have to look at his snap count. I know Harbaugh said something about, getting him some reps. So this might have been planned. And hopefully he impressed enough for Voorhees to take that job. That's them slowly recognizing that the guard position is broken and they need to fix it. Davon says, no one person should be able to underperform at a management level, John, for 8 straight years and still have their jobs. Judas. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. He has not performed well. EDC has not performed well. And listen, another name that we're not talking about. What happened to our first round pick, Malachi Starks? Why are we talking about him? Why, after these losses, do we keep putting it on Lamar Jackson, but we don't talk about our top picks? Malachi Starks was supposed to be that guy. He was supposed to be the final touch to our secondary. We're supposed to be a no-fly zone. He was out of position on that one deep pass. That was him. He's supposed to be on that. You didn't hear his name one time. He doesn't play well. We don't talk about him. That's why he was a bad pick. Not because I think he's going to be a bad player. I think he's going to be a good player. But he can't help us right now. He can't help us. What's going on, Urban? Thanks for coming through. 75 people in here. Okay. All right. Hit that like button. If you're new in here, hit the subscribe button. Also, we appreciate you guys' support, man. You guys have been really supporting us over the last few months. A good way to do that on a monthly basis, patreon.com/LBHTShow. I used to have some graphics here. Let me see if I can find one. Let me see. There we go. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. Like it says right there. For as little as $5 a month, you can help us out and you can get access to our overtime show. The overtime shows have been really good. And what we talk about in the overtime show, anything and everything, a bunch of different interesting sports topics and, how it relates to life, our society. Sometimes we just talk about life things. It's a mixture of stuff, but we have some real deep conversations on there. So as little as $5 a month, you can be a part of that. Also, you get access to our Discord channel. So that's a great way to support the show. You also get access to the overtime show if you're a channel member as well. Again, just $5. All right. Well worth the price of admission. You can even gift memberships, just like you do for the YouTube memberships. Patreon, you can gift memberships as well. That's a great affordable thing to give to your friends and loved ones, especially if they're Ravens fans or Panthers fans. So check it out. Also, that's where all of our social media is at LBHT Show. Everything, if we're on social media, is going to be at LBHT Show. All right. All right. What else we got here? Coach is here. Says we just finished a film session. Check out Coach Evans. So if you're ever wondering what happened, good or bad, this is where you need to subscribe to. Sip to Tally Films. Sip to Tally Films. All right. I mean, most of y'all know Coach in here, but I have a lot of respect for Coach and the work he does. And if you're ever wondering what went wrong or right, that's the man that you need to subscribe to. All right. Just Allo says, wake me up when Kyle Hamilton makes a play that actually counts. Whoa. I'm not going to go that far. Kyle Hamilton makes plays. He makes some key tackles. Not that many in last night's game. But no, Kyle Hamilton, I think he's been playing great this year overall. He's not that Ed Reed level, right? Nobody is, though. And that's my whole point about how, when we draft these defensive players and we keep saying, hey, this is going to make our defense this is, our defense can be that. Well, none of these guys are those guys, right? Hamilton's an excellent player. He's an excellent player. I think he makes some key tackles. He doesn't make the turnovers that we want him to, but he makes those plays. I think we drafted Malachi Starks to be more of that turnover machine. He's just not there yet. And I'm not even I don't even get on Malachi Starks that much, but I do think that was a bad pick for where we're at right now. We need guys that can make impact immediately. Malachi Starks needs time. So that's why I'm also down on that pick. That's why I was down on the Nate Wiggins pick. Right? I like Nate Wiggins. I think he's going to be a good corner. I think he is a good corner now. Do we need that or do we need a guard? Right? We expect Lamar Jackson to win games. We don't expect Malachi Starks, Kyle Hamilton, Mike Green, Nate Wiggins. We don't expect any of those guys to bring it home for us. None of them. If they do, it's a bonus, but we don't expect it. We expect Lamar Jackson to win these games for us. And if you expect Lamar Jackson to win these games for us, get him the weapons he needs, get him the protection he needs, and then you can say no excuses. If we had George Pickens out there and two competent guards last night and he still played terribly and we still lost, then you could say, damn, man, what's going on with you? You have everything you need. Why aren't you getting it done? Go, man. What's going on? Says Lamar was slinging the rock. He just wasn't completing it. Thank you, Whitney. Says already like to subscribe. Salute. Appreciate you. That means a lot. Thank you very much. Road too heavy for real. I don't even think Roquan's playing bad. But again, Ray Lewis ain't walking through that door. Okay, he is not walking through that door. He's playing good. I think Kyle Hamilton's playing good. They just, overall they're not a good defense. Not dead last defense, but not a great defense. I think they're young and they have to grow. But when this is supposed to be your year to win, we ain't got time to be waiting on guys to develop, especially with a coaching staff that can't develop them. Just how it says, no, Jose, he makes plays on first and second down. Well, I can't argue that. A lot of third down conversions, a lot of fourth down conversions. I can't argue that. Right? Emory is promising. Yeah. EDC is wondering if a team will trade 5 years of their 5, 6, and 7th round picks for Lamar and Harbaugh. Well, good news. Lamar Jackson has a no trade clause and a no franchise tag clause, so he's holding all the cards this offseason. It's a easy way for him to negotiate everything he wants moving forward, which is why I think there is going to be some sort of shakeup if Lamar wants it. If Lamar doesn't want to go forward with John Harbaugh is gone. If Lamar says, you better get me some protection, some real protection, they have to make the move. He jumps from 40. I looked at this up like the other day. I think it's like 40 something, $45 million cap hit to like 76 million. It's like a $30 million jump in cap hit, which they can't realistically absorb and go and get, go sign other players. So they got to redo his deal, and they can't trade him. They can't, well, he's not eligible for franchise tag anyway, but they can't trade him. They just had to deal with him. And if he says, I'm not giving you any cap relief unless this goes towards the offense and helping me, then they have to acquiesce. They have to get it done. So this is the year to do it. I wish we still had Tucker. I don't know. Wait, what you have against Tyler Loop? Tyler Loop he's been playing well. Tucker wasn't going to help us win any more games. And in fact, Tucker has played terrible. That's the real reason why he's out. Not the other stuff. The other stuff that the team knew about it. He wasn't kicking the ball as well. Tyler Loop has done a really good job for us. I have no problems with Tyler Loop. Good replacement, in fact. Good replacement. Cameron says, if Lamar is there next year, Harbaugh is gone. Lamar will be there next year. Lamar's not going anywhere. And there has to be a shift in O-line. Otherwise, Lamar's gone. Unless Lamar says, trade me, I'll waive my no trade clause. That's the only way he's gone. They can't get rid of him. Tucker did lose us 3 games last year. Tucker used to be that guy. He used to be that guy. But Tucker was also an issue, not his fault, but coaching's fault, because he was so great and he could hit it from so far away. We play for field goals and not touchdowns, right? So I prefer a young kicker who's played well, but we don't have that same expectation that, hey, we're within 60 yards. We can just run our kicker out there. I'm glad we don't have that. It forces us to play more aggressive and pick up first downs and try to get touchdowns and not field goals. Yep. Loop is doing his job. 100%. I agree. What's up, Attitude Pop? Says, not going to lie, that was the worst game I've ever seen from Lamar. But when happened to his mechanics and passing, is it because his ankles are compromised or hurting him? No. Sometimes quarterbacks just have bad games. I think sometimes quarterbacks just have bad games. Sometimes they just go through. They go through a slump, and if you have talent around you, they can help work through that slump with you, right? If you have protection out there, you don't have to be as on point. With Lamar, because he's not. Yes, he is hurt. Let's get that straight. He's not 100%. And if he's not making plays with his feet, what's everybody else doing? That's the question. I don't think he is that off like people make it out to be. He has some bad passes out there, but every quarterback has bad passes. I think if those touchdowns hold up that he actually threw and we come out with the win, we talk about this game a lot differently, and he didn't do anything different. Right? If Isaiah Likely holds onto the ball, that's a touchdown. If they don't call pass interference on Zay Flowers, that's a touchdown. If those two things happen and we come out with the win, nobody says he plays bad. And the stats are pretty much the same. Missed passes and all. Right? Lamar didn't miss blocks repeatedly. Yeah, facts. What's up, Garrison? Thanks for coming through. Salute to you. It says, but do you think he's going through something mentally or personally, because since the Dolphins game, he ain't really been playing well? No. Like nobody plays perfect all the time. Nobody. Peyton Manning never did. Tom Brady never did. Every quarterback goes through a slump. And what's going on is, mentally, meaning the coach. I think maybe they just checked out of the coach. That message is getting stale because you're focused on Lamar not playing well. Who played well? Who was a player that played well? What's going on with the O-line? When did the O-line ever play well? I tell you what, if you're out there every week getting beat up because you guys can't block anybody, that'll take a toll on you, even if you're not hurt. At some point, you get frustrated. At some point, you say, damn, man, why can't I have 2 seconds in the pocket to go through my progressions and get rid of the ball? Why can't you hold these guys for a second? Right? That'll piss you off for sure. When you see the coaching staff not making any changes, that'll do something to you. Coer says maybe Lamar's mom needs to intervene again and curse him out. I think that's what's going to happen. Lamar's mom is his agent. So there will be that conversation. And I'm telling you what, if I was my son's agent, I would already be putting that bug in their ear. Hey, my son, this ain't going to happen again next year. You're going to make some changes or you're going to carry a huge cap hit. He's not leaving, but you're going to carry a huge cap hit because we're not doing any deal unless we know you're making those changes to the O-line and you bring in another weapon. You better pray that you can get George Pickens here. Right? You better pray that you can get somebody in here. Or we're not signing anything. We got a rock solid contract. You can't get out of it. You can't trade us. You just gonna have to deal with this. That has to happen. Ravens play stale. Complacency. Yes. All right, we're gonna read a couple more and we'll get up out of here. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. Don't let this loss ruin your holidays. I hope you got the day off. I hope you're able to enjoy this day. If not, and you had to work, don't work hard. Don't work hard. Even if you work in retail, the people come and look for stuff. Say, man, I don't know. We out. Okay, find it yourself. Don't let that game ruin your holidays, because the reality is, as early as Sunday, we could be back in first place. As early as Sunday, right? And you don't have to root for the Bills to beat the Steelers. You don't have to. If the Steelers beat the Bills, that doesn't change anything either. We play the Steelers, I believe, next week. We can take first place back then, right? So, and if we believe we're the team we are, if we believe we have a shot, then there's nothing to worry about. We'll take care of business. We'll beat that team. And like I said, if the Steelers mess around and lose, we're back in first place and nothing has changed. Nothing has changed, right? So irritating, frustrating, because you want to see them make those improvements. You want to see them start to hit their stride now, but there's still time. We still have, I think we're still favored to win the division. That's how bad the division is. So no worries. Raven C, what's going on, man? Says, dang, I'm late. I'm at work, but I'll hit that rewind. Thank you. Raven C, don't work too hard. It's Black Friday. All right. Hopefully not a lot of people are at work. I actually like going in on days where nobody's going to be there. I went to work Wednesday, usually the day before a holiday. It's a half day, but I'm in IT. So at least one person on the IT team has to stay behind. Because you still got security and whatnot in the building. People that have computers, we got to stay behind to give them backup. But as a supervisor, I usually, not always, we rotate, but usually I'll send everybody home early and I'll stay behind, because that's when I can actually do my work, because I got work to do when, outside of helping people, I got my own stuff to do. So I'll tell the team, go home and, enjoy the holidays. It's quiet. Nobody's in the building. And I can get my work done. Some peace and quiet. It's very relaxing. So if you have to work during the holidays, enjoy the peace and quiet. Take time off when people start to come back to work. Okay, give you a little peace of mind. We might make the Steelers look like the steel curtain. We might. We might. They might make us look like the steel curtain. They're bad on offense too. So Jim says, I can't root for us to lose, but what does one do when it's obvious that screwball needs to go? I'm telling you, this is where, we keep saying Lamar needs to say something. Lamar's mom, as his agent, needs to say something. And I think they will. And I think they hold all the cards. They can say, hey, we don't have any more confidence in John Harbaugh moving forward. Like we just don't. And we're not going anywhere. Let's just be clear about that. You can't trade us. We're not trying to leave. We're just letting you know, like, we're not interested in giving you any cap relief unless you're showing us that you're serious about winning. If you're not serious about winning, then we'll just keep the money. We'll keep the contract as it is. You work around our huge cap hit and do what you got to do. Like, it ain't on us, it's on you. But if you're telling us we're going to take that money and we're going to invest in the O-line, we're going to invest in wide receivers, we're going to make a coaching change because we're serious about winning, then cool, we'll redo that deal, right? I'll get you a nice deal. I'm going to get the biggest deal ever, but we can manipulate the cap. I'll work with you. But if you're not actually going to do that, it's just right out this contract. I'll make my money. They hold all the cards. And I think Lamar sitting out and even coming back and not being 100% is really exposing them. Because as much as the media wants to say Lamar's this, that, whatever, the team knows what it is. The players know what it is, right? The owner knows what it is. The GM knows what it is. So the easiest thing for EDC to do is to separate himself from John Harbaugh and go to Steve Bisciotti and say, hey, we love John. He's given us some great years. But me and Ozzie, because Ozzie's still in the house, me and Ozzie have been making a lot of picks and they haven't been working out. It ain't us. It's him. Right? With Ozzie there and the respect Ozzie has, everything he's done for the organization, Hall of Famer, it's easy to have Ozzie on his side and say, hey, Ozzie's been helping me evaluate these players, all these players that have not been working out. We haven't been that wrong. It's the coaching staff not doing a good job developing them. We are getting the players. See, not I, right? If he says I, that means him himself have been making those picks, and he's been doing a terrible job, right? But you bring Ozzie in, say, hey, me and Ozzie, we evaluate these guys. We know we're doing our job. We know these guys can play. They're just not being developed. They're not being put in the right position to win. It's time for a change. That will get Steve Bisciotti's attention. And if EDC is smart, that's what he'll do. Otherwise, EDC will be fired at the same time John Harbaugh gets fired when Steve Bisciotti gets tired of it. Ozzie drafts Hall of Famers. Yep. But Ozzie has had some stinkers too. A lot. But he makes up for it by drafting some Hall of Famers. He mixes it up with some great picks in there. And, Ozzie can go too, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's just an old way of thinking. It's a new era of football that they have not been able to adjust to. The only thing that's keeping them afloat is a generational quarterback. That's it. Jose, the Rams are watching us. Why are the Rams watching us? They already beat us. Bisciotti was there last night. Yeah, I think he's at all the games, the home games at least. Josh says, EDC, I like to believe around 2022, ask Harbaugh, what are you doing with all my wide receiver draft picks? There you go. They drafted a lot. They drafted a whole lot. All right. We've hit an hour. Oh, right at the hour. Look at that. Right at the hour. All right, y'all. One more time. Hit that like and subscribe. Also, patreon.com/LBHT show. Great Black Friday gift. All right. For as little as $5 a month. You can gift that to people as well. You get access to the overtime show, which is a whole nother show after our main show on Wednesday. The LBHT show is our main show if you're new here. We talk Ravens and Panthers and just how the sports stories. Overtime shows an extension of that. We get a little deeper into some of these sports stories and have deep conversations. It's a lot of fun. And any suggestions that you have for the show, you bring it up and we'll talk about it. All right. You get all that every week, $5 a month. Also, you get access to our Discord channel. And if we have other tiers too. We have a LBHT crew coin that we give away as well. All kinds of perks. So, think about supporting the channel. That goes right back into our show. And if you want something free, go to LBHTShow.com, sign up for the newsletter. We put that out every week. It's a great way to stay connected to Ravens news, Panthers news, and just news from around the sports world. All right. And it's a quick read. We don't waste a lot of your time. We obviously don't spam you because I don't put it up nearly enough. People be saying, hey, man, where's the newsletter? So we're going to get more consistent with that. But check that out. And if you're looking for some gear, some clothes to buy for your friends, family, loved ones, we got merch on the store as well. All right. So all that at LBHTshow.com. All right. Let's see. Where there are a lot of teams like that. Let's see. I'm just reading a couple more comments and then we are gone. Steelers got us beat in the trenches. It's going to be a tough one. Everybody got us beat in the trenches. But, well, I don't know. On the defensive side, their offensive line isn't great either. So we'll see. Salute Urban says, much love, Jose, and chat. Be safe, y'all. Stay blessed and be happy. I agree. We'll end it right there. All right, y'all. We are out of here. Enjoy your day. Don't let this game get you too down. Sunday, we could be right back at number 1. It's that simple. And we got the rest of the season ahead of us. We do our jobs. We do what we need to do. We win the North. All right. Y'all have fun. Be safe. Go Ravens. And we'll see you next time. Peace.